an accident.
You hit me in the nuts, Nubia.
The Boys, Diabolical, Episode 6, Nubian vs. Nubian. Divorces can get messy, and celebrity divorces tend to get even more chaotic. And with a child involved, one can only imagine how this mix worsens. But what if the couple consists of two superheroes and their child is determined to spill blood to make sure the parents stay together? Well, now that is a recipe for disaster. This is precisely what Nubian vs. Nubian, the 6th episode of the first season of The Boys Presents Diabolical, deals with. Nubian vs. Nubian, which follows the daughter of two black superheroes in a failing marriage, is more a morality tale than a fighting one. There is undeniable brutality. After all, this is part of The Boys. That's the show's complete package, although practically all of the violence occurs off-screen. The animation style is reminiscent of the Boondocks. This is one of 3 animated cartoons that are considered canonical to the TV program The Boys. It was published on Amazon Prime Video on March 4th, 2022. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Now, let's begin.
Since when was I supposed to do that?
Since I told you yesterday to buy the fucking coffee, Gerald!
Plot summary. We're transported to 8 years ago when the wicked Groundhawk, who is voiced by John DiMaggio, robs a bank and escapes through a wall. The Nubian prince, voiced by Don Cheadle, appears and claims that Groundhawk was once a hero, but Groundhawk reveals that all he got out of it was grief. Groundhawk prepares to murder him when Prince tackles him and they battle. Then Nubia, voiced by Aisha Tyler, appears and blasts Groundhawk with her energy bolts. The two heroes exchange greetings and Prince lingers behind Nubia, admiring her beauty. They then join forces to combat Groundhawk, and after defeating the villain, they kiss. Back in the present, the couple's daughter Maya is at home working on a scrapbook when her parents barge in, Nubia raging about Prince publicly insulting her. Their romance has now turned sour, with both harboring hatred and anger towards one another. They even argue in front of their child. He laments the lack of sexual activity between them, and Nubia tells him he needs to do more and advises him to simply sign the divorce papers. They tried to hide their argument from Maya, but she notices the pair fighting over their marriage. As Prince tells her a bedtime story, Maya asks Prince whether he and Nubia are considering getting a divorce. He denies it, but Maya points out that they often argue. Prince assures her that they'll always love her no matter what happens between them. When Nubia enters the room to kiss Maya goodnight, Prince assures her that everything is fine. Nubia quickly informs Maya that she and Prince are divorcing and that Prince will buy Maya a pony. The next day, while Nubia is taking a bath, Maya takes Groundhawk's phone number and address from her mother's phone. She goes to Groundhawk's house and he invites her in. Maya asks Groundhawk for his help. She tells him that her parents are divorcing, and Groundhawk claims that the altercation in which Prince and Nubia met was a setup. Maya wants her parents to battle Groundhawk so that they can remember how much they love each other. Groundhawk understands her point of view because his parents separated when he was Maya's age, but he still refuses to listen. But finally, Groundhawk accepts when Maya threatens to tell everyone that he's a pervert. When Nubia and Prince hear Maya call for help, they're squabbling about who gets what in the divorce. They rush outdoors and discover Groundhawk with Maya held over his head. He orders them to fight and throws Maya to the ground as they strike him. Maya watches as Groundhawk is beaten to a pulp and thinks her plan is going well. Maya offers Groundhawk a thumbs up as the couple kiss. Her parents continue to beat Groundhawk and Maya eventually admits that she made him do it. Groundhawk is still being beaten by the pair late into the night. They eventually return home and engage in intercourse after killing Groundhawk and leaving him in a bloody heap. They start squabbling again the following day, and Maya says that she thinks it'll be better for all of them if her parents just get divorced and that she still wants her pony. Conclusion. The 6th episode of The Boys Diabolical does an excellent job of demonstrating that there are moments when two individuals just shouldn't be together. It's especially difficult to see them quarrel and fight right in front of their daughter, who ultimately has had enough and believes they should simply call it quits. To be honest, this is the correct decision for the pair, who appear to have no feelings of love or care for each other. It's simply terrible, though, that Groundhawk became collateral damage in order for this message to reach the two Nubians. Considering the previous episode, this is also a much more typical episode of The Boys. While a little introspective, this episode is definitely an interesting watch, owing to the bubbly child lead and the intense backstory and action sequences. If you enjoyed watching this, like, share and subscribe to the channel. Tell us in the comments which superhero or villain you want us to do a video of. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.
It's his permission. I don't need my wife's permission.
You wanna fight? You got it, you egg-laying motherfucker!